Now we'll hear from Ms. Myrna Rivera, founder and chief executive officer of Consultiva Internacional, and a 30-year veteran in the field of investment management consulting.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the board, colleagues, and guests. I preface my comments by disclosing that the ideas and opinions that I will share with you today are strictly mine and do not necessarily represent those of Consultiva, its clients, shareholders, or employees. I'm here today to discuss what I believe is more than a desirability, but the absolute necessity to support Puerto Rico's emerging private investment ecosystem. Where we stand, what has been accomplished so far, and what shall be required in order that private investments contribute their role in Puerto Rico's forthcoming economic growth. Today, the universe of investable institutional assets in Puerto Rico stands at approximately $30 billion, the origin and evolution of which I have covered in my notes to you today. Family assets bring the aggregate to approximately $40 billion. Note, we stood at over twice that amount in 2004. I believe that Puerto Rico's private sector investment portfolios, although small in comparison to similar jurisdictions, have a crucial role to play as first investors in Puerto Rico's economic recovery. Over 10 years ago, we began research on how we can generate competitive financial returns for our clients by investing in the very source of the assets being invested, a common practice around the world called investing in situ, or place-based investing, while complying with the fiduciary duties of care and loyalty. We set out to identify both the debt and equity continuums for Puerto Rico, all the ways that local entrepreneurs can seek both equity and debt partners, SBICs, community loan funds, CDFIs, and as well as private equity and traditional debt. We discovered that ground zero is not zero in Puerto Rico, that there is a robust private equity and debt ecosystem emerging since mid-decade. The Puerto Rico Venture Association was born recently, bringing together a new generation of highly educated and highly skilled entrepreneurs, fully committed to providing the sort of financial intermediation required in private investing, one of the best educated generations in our history. So where's the capital? The current math behind generating average annual returns of over 6% over the next 10 years points to the need to allocate at least 10% of assets in private equity. 10% of $30 billion is $3 billion. We have the money to support this ecosystem. Do we have the deal flow? I ask, what is Puerto Rico's low-hanging fruit? Number one, biopharma, life sciences, and medical devices. Number two, research that's coming from the University of Puerto Rico's Mayagüez and medical school campuses that are yielding patents that we are losing because we can't get them commercialized. Number three, information technology solutions that are springing up in Puerto Rico's fast-developing incubator accelerator phenomena. Number four, agro-industry, where Puerto Rico today is in a position to potentially reverse the import-export equation when it comes to certain products. Number five, culture, history, and tourism. All the reasons to visit a place in the middle of the ocean that owns the sun and the wind, where every major empire in modern history deposited its DNA. It's about our natural beauty. It's investing in our sophisticated arts and culture, our music, visual arts, dance, and theater. It's investing in our cuisine. It's investing in Puerto Rico as a center of congregation of 4 continents. Number 6, financial services. Puerto Rico today is a multicultural financial services hub with emerging cross-continental presence. We just don't know it yet. Number 7, housing and commercial development and urban inner-city development. So we have the ingredients, the deals, the intellectual capital, both financial intermediation as well as a new crop of local entrepreneurs. and the financial wherewithal to build a different story, one that generates jobs and supports a productive and happy society, which at the end of the day is what we all need to secure Treasury revenues. We have the role models, the US cities of Pittsburgh and Buffalo that were killed with NAFTA. We have the story of the State of Israel that my colleague here so aptly presented. We even have the roadmap in place already, the most advanced statements of investment policy in Puerto Rico's history that embrace the concepts of place-based and responsible investing, those of the Puerto Rico State Insurance Fund and of the Puerto Rico Automobile Compensation Administration, which have committed up to 20% of investment portfolio investments for local economic impact following the models of the City of New York pension funds, while seeking competitive financial returns within a fiduciary framework, and who also invested in the launch of the first private equity fund of funds to invest in Puerto Rico companies, the Puerto Rico Fund for Growth. What's missing? Trust. We have lost our nerve because we have lost our structural and moral compass. Between 2004 and 2014, Puerto Rico's boomer generation, who are the children of the three economies between the 1940s and the 1990s that saw the massification of the middle and an upper middle class in Puerto Rico, we lost over $50 billion in personal wealth. Investing in Puerto Rico. We are atrophied, and rightly so. And we are the trustees of those $30 billion. So we're quite timid right now about investing in Puerto Rico. Hence, that money, the people's money, is investing elsewhere around the planet. So how do we reverse this and move forward? Let's provide a framework of fiduciary oversight. Let's provide loan guarantees. Let's provide smart incentives for local investment portfolios to assume investment risk with a small portion of their assets. Let's invest in the University of Puerto Rico as a vibrant center of intellectual and cultural thinking that generously breeds new ideas. It's our most important engine of intellectual capital and innovation. Let's provide the sort of fiduciary oversight that a prudent investor requires so as to feel confident in investing in Puerto Rico's next generation, and that those investment decisions can be defendable in any forum, that they will not be marred in controversy because it turns out that the playing field is not level or transparent or lacks for accountability. Today, you, above all, are viewed as the steward of Puerto Rico's structural and moral compass. Let's work together to help our rising entrepreneurial generation access the capital they need to take their place and write our next chapter. If Puerto Rico investors put their money on the table, all of us in this room know that the rest of the world will follow. Speaking of the diaspora, who will follow from the US? The US public pension funds, the US grant-making foundations, the labor unions, welfare and pension funds, the high net worth impact investors, just to name a few. Let's get Puerto Rico back on the front pages as the turnaround story of this generation. We need to generate 300,000 jobs. Let's get going. I thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Ms. Rivera.